fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see, so much more with taking the back streets. You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow.
Started with the greeting, hello dear friends. And it's friends I really need today, I really need tonight, and I'm so happy you are with me. On 18th of June, this is a live stream from our caravan about our daily life on wheels. We do have some daily habits for a joyful life on wheels. Our life is usually joyful here on site. Usually very happy. We are usually very happy. Happen. It's not all rosy and it's not hype all the time. We do have some downs. I had a really bad day yesterday and I'm still recovering from it. And now I'm angry with myself that I let myself get so angry. Do you know what I mean? But seeing you really oh, thank you very much, Vasi and Steve. Seeing all of you here really gave me a boost and it's just so lovely. So lovely you are here with me. I really appreciate it. There may be an occasional tear coming from my eyes today, but believe me, these are tears of joy and gratitude that you are here with me. Thank you. So we have Damian Nawski with us. Of course, Marek, who set it all up for us. Again, the lights, the camera, the sound, it's all working. Is it working? Can you hear me all right? Can you see me all right in pink, in my pink top? Yeah, this is my happy summery top. Yeah, because I wear a grey t-shirt at work all the time, so I thought, okay, I will wear something pink from time to time, something bright and colorful. So thank you very much, Vasit, for noticing it. And Vuya Carmel is with us, Vasi and Steve, our usual crowd. Is anyone here? Marek intro music is still on. Oh, okay, thank you, Damian. We had the pleasure of meeting Damian here in Mill Park recently after many years of knowing him online. Hello, Nikki Carter, Little Miss Sunshine. Have you had sunshine where you are today? Because we have rain. Can you hear the rain? It's raining. You can hear, you can see. We could probably smell the rain in the caravan today. Music is a bit louder than voice. Thank you for noticing it. I'm sure Marek will. Oh, maybe I need to speak up a bit. Marek will probably let me know. So there are seven of you with me here in the caravan. How lovely. I hope you've had a really nice weekend and a really nice week. In overall, we had a good week with Marek. There was a lot of sightseeing because we had visitors and we did a bit of touristy things with them. So as usual, when we have visitors, we do touristy things and we tend to go off-site a little bit more. I checked out the new bus service, which Damian Nawski knows. It's an open deck bus which runs from Ilfracombe all the way to Minehead. But I travelled from Berrin Arbour to beautiful Linton and Lynmouth and it was an experience. I met Paul on the bus and Paul promised me he will check out our channel. So Paul, maybe you are watching it on any other day. I remember you. It was nice to meet you on the bus to Linton the other day. So this is a live stream on 18th of June. Thank you for all the likes. I already have 7 likes. Thank you so much. Remember that if you watch this live on any other day, you can still like and comment and ask a question. So today we prepared our daily habits, things we practice in our van to make our life a bit easier, a bit happier, a bit joyful. Perhaps you could apply some of those ideas to your life wherever you live and in whatever type of accommodation you are. One of the tips comes from Vasi and Steve. You probably know which one. You may know some of them because sometimes I mention them in the video. But I would love to hear your daily habits, your little daily habits which make your life a bit easier, a bit more joyful. You know, simple things you can tweak in your life which make it all, you know, better for you. So our first tip and our first ritual and our non-negotiable. Where did you sit? I sat at the very end, on top, of course, on the top deck at the very end. So it was a good seat. I sat in the middle of the seat at the back. So our first and the most important thing we do, well, we do it towards the end of the day, but this is crucial for our well-being in the caravan. The first habit, which I think is the most important for a happy life in a caravan or a camper van, is checking or emptying your toilet cassette daily. So before we go to bed, we check the cassette status. We have a fancy cassette now because we have lights inside, and by pressing a button, I believe, the lights light up. There are 3 lights, and if the 3 lights are all lit, that means cassette is full. If it's 1 light, you have nothing to worry about. If it's 2, it's 2/3 full, and we usually empty the cassette. So this is something we really watch out for. If we have 2 lights on, it's 2/3 full. We empty it to make sure we have space and we can use our cassette at night and the first thing in the morning. And I really feel sorry for campers, and I see a few people every morning during our early walk with Diesel, 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. I see some poor people who didn't check the night before, and they start their day with carrying the cassette to the waste disposal point, because of course they woke up early, they wanted to use their loo and they couldn't. So this is the most dreadful start of the day, or maybe even that something that will keep you up at night and will drag you out of the bed and your cozy caravan, a full cassette. No, you want to avoid that. Vasi and Steve, we have had an allotment for 2 months, and now we had our first rain for many weeks. Exactly, I know. Nikki, my lights don't work, I can see. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's another way of checking. You can actually look into your cassette. Yeah, living in a caravan has its gross moments, but probably emptying the cassette and looking inside your cassette is only disgusting for the first few weeks. Then you just get used to it and you don't even think of it. Right. So those of you who use caravans, who do caravanning, or maybe you travel in campers, those of you who use a cassette toilet, do you do the same? Do you check it in the evening? Yeah, I think everyone's been waiting for the rain. Our grass here on the campsite, it started to turn into hay. I've never seen anything like that before. Never had such a dry June. Yeah, so our plants, our veg will be happy. Number 2, the habit number 2 is something I borrowed from Vasi and Steve, and it is clearing out the fridge before weekend. I think this is a really good habit. Before your main shop, whenever you do it, we usually do it before weekend. I really like Vasi's tip about using up any leftover food, any leftover veg, cooking with things you have left, basically, before you add more food to your fridge. So before your main shopping, it's a really nice idea and definitely makes life easier and happier in a caravan. When you usually have a small fridge, we have a big fridge now by our caravanning standards. Yeah, growing vegetables and having an allotment definitely teaches you to appreciate little things in life, such as rain. Steve, generally do the toilet in the morning. We are usually out during the day. Okay, Stu, in the morning, all right. Yes, it does, Nikki. Whatever happens outside when you are in the caravan or in the awning, it seems so much more dramatic when you are in, because of the acoustics. So Stu, I believe, Stu V, welcome. I think it's your first time on live. Very nice to meet you. Where are you based? And so you are in a caravan or in a camper van? Let us know. So I really like this habit of clearing and cleaning the fridge once a week. And probably those of you who live on wheels or travel on wheels, you will agree that those tiny fridges, they do get dirty quite often, quite quickly. So the problem with a big fridge is that there is even more risk of having some forgotten food somewhere in the corner. When you have a box-like fridge, I think it's easier to stay organized because you only buy a little bit, because you have very limited space. Probably the bigger the fridge, the bigger the risk of forgetting about food, and maybe the risk of getting a bit lazy with stuff, because you can just stock it up and, you know, stuff your fridge to the brim. And it may be overwhelming. Not the first time. Okay. Oh, okay. Not the first time. No. We are caravan tourers. Yeah, I spoke to a friend today and I was trying to explain to her that there are different schools of caravanning. There are seasonal pitch caravanners, there are tourers, and there are those in statics. So quite an interesting division. So please let me know if you have your own habits when you go touring or camping. What do you do to make sure you have a comfortable and a happy stay in your van or in your caravan? What are your habits? What are your routines? Let me know in the chat. And let me know what you think about those habits I mentioned. Yeah, we have a Facebook group, just like Marek mentioned in chat. So if you haven't joined yet, you are missing out, because there are some interesting things and interesting topics coming out. Usually about camping and caravanning, vegetable growing and cooking, whatever makes us happy, and whatever our fellow freedom seekers do. You will hear all about it in Camping Freedom Seekers group. Nikki, emptying waste water and swapping water bottles is biggest pain. Ooh, you don't have full service. I know. I absolutely hated emptying the grey waste, because the container is quite big, quite heavy, quite bulky, and when you pull it, it makes a horrible noise. Luckily, on the site where we live and work, all pitches have drains, so campers connect hoses to their outlets of grey waste, and there is no more dragging of grey waste on site, which makes life easier for everyone. It definitely adds to peacefulness of the place, because you can't hear this horrible noise of those plastic wheels being dragged to the waste point. Marek, is there anyone here who hasn't subscribed to the Freedom Seekers channel yet? Well, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you want to support us, if you want to keep us going, add a bit of motivation, and encourage us to produce more videos and make sure that the live streams are on every Sunday, please subscribe. That's greatly appreciated. Valsi, we don't have a caravan yet, but I think we would invest in blankets and rugs that are light and can be easily washed. Well, I think you just adapt. Probably, Nikki, I will just finish with Vasi's idea. Yes, we have rugs and we have doormats and we have different blankets. We probably have 2 sets of blankets to cover the sofas. I know you can buy covers, fitted covers. We haven't invested in those fitted covers yet, probably because with the dog we wash those blankets twice a week. Sometimes it depends on the weather. Once a week is a minimum. So I think maybe that's the reason we prefer blankets, because blankets are a bit more sturdy, I think. I'm not sure those covers would last long if I washed them twice a week or once a week. Swapping water bottles. Do you mean swapping aqua rolls? I saw our neighbor recently, a bit older lady, and she was trying to fill in her aqua roll with a little water container of maybe 5 liters. So she was walking to the tap with her little plastic container, carrying water to the aqua roll. Normally it's her husband who does these things, but he wasn't here at that time, and it was her first time in a caravan on her own. And I saw her through our window, and I took pity on her, and I lent her our hose. I'm not sure if they had the holder, you know, the handle for the aqua roll. Well, I just gave her our hose, and she set it all up, and she could fill up her aqua roll using a hose, and it made her life easier. Anyway, you live and learn. I remember when we were traveling the motorhome, there were different water setups on campsites or in IRES, in camper stops, and sometimes you needed a hose. Sometimes our hose was too short. Sometimes you had to use a container and then pour water from the container into a van. It was the right chore. So we invested in a little water pump, I remember, to pump water from containers into the water tank in a motorhome. But we've been through many ways of filling up our water tank. Something as basic, you know, you don't think about it when you live in a house. Okay. Our habit number 3 is make a bed as often and as many times a day as you need. Make a bed, and you know my top secret is having a bedspread, which makes everything easier and neat, and the bed looks very pretty, especially if you have a big bed like we have. It takes a lot of space in the van, our bedroom. So I really recommend having a bedspread and making your bed and making sure your bed looks good in a caravan or in a motorhome. Damian, I remember the lovely lady with aquarelle story. Yeah. Oh, you've been here. How is she doing? Well, I haven't seen her since. They haven't been back yet. But yes, she is lovely. She is lovely. When Damian was here, he met most of our neighbors. He was here for only 3 days, and I loved it about you, Damien. You came for a few days, but you made a really positive impact here, and all those people, they remember you, and they met you, they remember you, they ask about you now, and whenever you come back again, you know, you already have friends in Mill Park. It was amazing because Damien literally had, I think, only 2 or 3 days here, but you really made the most of them, and you are missed by many people here on site. So it was a pleasure to have you here, and I was very proud of you and your English. Okay, number 4 is quite easy. By the way, I have 10 of them, 10 habits, so I need to speed up a little bit. Number 4 is easy and basic. Put things back where they belong when you finish with them. So basically keep your place tidy. And especially in such a small space like a caravan or a camper, things get cluttered quite quickly. So the secret is to put things, to make sure each single thing has its place, and to put them back where they belong when you finish with them. Are you guilty of not doing it or not doing it sometimes? If you don't do it, you end up with a mess and a clutter, and your living space starts to shrink, and it has a really negative effect on us. We hate a mess and clutter, and we try to keep this space clutter-free. Yeah, I hope you will be back. I hope you will be back soon, sooner than later. So number 5 is also about organizing space and managing your stuff. We use small plastic baskets for little things, for little items, so they are not loose on the shelf. And ideally, you want labels on your baskets. If you can't see, for example, here, if we had any basket here, and obviously you can't look into it from, you know, from here, it's a nice idea to put a little label. So we have baskets in those lockers to keep little things organized, but I think we need to get some for any loose items on the shelves. So that's my other tip. Nikki, yes, have to agree, have to keep on top of housework constantly in such a small space. Yeah, and it's quite different. It's very much different to living in a house or in a flat. Bigger space, maybe a bit more forgiving. If you, for example, leave your jumper here, or you leave your cap in a bigger space, it kind of blends and you don't see it. But a small space gets cluttered so quickly, so it gets messy and cluttered very quickly, but you can organize it and tidy it up very quickly too, in no time. Okay, number 6 is something I discussed with Sue and Graham. They are not here today, they forgot about us. They must be very busy enjoying themselves. Anyway, it's something Sue likes to do as well, because we talked about it the other day. It's cleaning the sink. Clearing and cleaning the sink in the evening. Having a clean sink is super important for me, for my emotional well-being in a caravan, for my happy life in a caravan. I need a clean, empty sink, at least once a day. I need to finish my day with an empty sink and start my day with an empty sink. What happens in the sink during the day, that's a different story. It gets filled up, it gets messy, but I always make sure that I clean and clear it before I go to bed. So is that something you do? Do you also pay attention to your kitchen sink? Let me know in the chat. Vasi and Steve, stop buying things. You don't need extras or upgrades. That's a very simple tip. Stop buying things. Yeah, that's a good tip. And I think living in a caravan or in a motorhome, it helps, because even if you wanted to buy stuff, you don't have space. So it's much easier not to buy if you have limited storage space. Number 7. Every household member needs to have do not touch me space. Yes, to the empty sink. Yeah, we all want empty sinks. Sinks somehow magically fill up with dirty dishes. I don't know how. It's pure magic. Must be some caravan magic. Number 7. Make sure that everyone has their own zone where they can go and relax. Vasi and Steve like empty sink too. Good. This is something I mentioned in a video when I was talking about our dog, about Diesel, that he has space. You need upgrades. What upgrades do you need? You know, we don't need upgrades. We need to start saving money for our winter holiday, or we will spend it in very wet North Devon otherwise. No upgrades. I don't want to hear about more upgrades for this season. We've already exhausted all possible upgrades we could have, and probably we had more than we could afford. So no, definitely not. Anyway, private space to relax, private zones. Don't provoke him, Vasi and Steve. Don't tease him. Don't encourage Marek, please, because I want to go away in winter. So having an empty zone, having your little corner, it could be a corner, it could be a seat. You just need space. You just need space. Your private, do not touch me space, where you can relax, read, or do whatever you like, and make sure that you are not bothered when you are there. Just some space to relax. It can be difficult in a caravan, especially if there are more than 2 of you, like us, 2 and a dog. It seems that Diesel's do not touch me space is everywhere in this caravan. We do get some little corners of the caravan, like little edge of the bed, for example. But it is important that each member of the family, each household member has his or her Space. Yeah, Marek was talking about getting a new phone for me for the last 6 months, and yes, finally I do have a new phone. So I can take photos for the first time ever. I used to take 2 phones when I was going out. For all this time, I used to have my normal phone for phoning and another phone Marek usually uses for flying a drone. I was borrowing his drone phone for taking photos because my old phone was taking horrible photos. So hopefully that will translate into more pictures for you and maybe some videos and more content on our Instagram, which is quite neglected. We honestly didn't have time or energy recently. But I will not. Maybe I will stop making some empty promises, and hopefully you will. When the time is right, there will be more content on our Instagram. Wow, Nikki, you have 2 cats. Oh, I don't know, Damian. I don't know. Maybe I will send you a private message afterwards. Number 8. Do not store dirty dishes anywhere as it attracts flies and bugs. And I noticed that even our fruit bowl attracts tiny flies in the summer. So, well, this is a hygiene thing, health and safety probably, but also general comfort of living in a small space. Well, that ties up with having a clean, empty sink. You really can't store any dirty dishes on worktops or in the kitchen or tables, because immediately, especially if you live among the sticks like we do, you will have some visitors who will want to clear the plates for you, either ants or flies, or number 9, mice in your awning. We don't leave any food stuff or food scraps in the awning, and even recently I moved my bottle with oil. I had oil by the hob in the awning, where I cook in the summer, and mice started to eat the top of the bottle, the cup, the plastic cup. So obviously they are desperate for food. So this is number 9. If you have an awning, there is no space. It's not a good space to store any food there. Sometimes even water bottles get attacked as well, which is really weird. But when you live in nature, that's the risk. So you just have to learn to not attract visitors like mice or rats in your awning or your caravan. So that was number 9, and number 10, the final one. It's from us to make sure that we are proud of our van, that our van is nice and clean. We wash it at least once a month. That would be ideal. That's what our neighbor does. He washes it once a month. We probably wash it a few times in a year, but I would recommend. Oh, you have ants. You've got tiny pets. Nikki, does it mean you have some food in the awning? Why are the ants there? Or does your awning stands on the road? They are traveling across the side and your awning happens to be in the middle of their highway. Let me know. But when we walk around the side, there is nothing worse than having a greenish caravan. Seeing a greenish caravan, with algae. It's awful. Dirty caravans, neglected caravans look really miserable. Probably because they are white. Most of them are white. The newer ones are grey often. But most of the caravans are still white. So any dirt, any bird mess, any sap from the trees, but especially greenish algae, it's awful. So you could have an older van. If it's clean, if it's kept in a good shape, it looks lovely. It looks lovely. A new dirty van A new but dirty looks far worse. So it doesn't matter how old. I'm sure you will be much happier living in it. And the same with awning. You can give it a gentle anti-highway. You could give it a gentle wipe, you know, regularly, whenever it needs a little refreshment. Don't let it build up, because again, the more often you do it, the easier it is. So if we get to doing it at least once a month, it will be a quick clean. If we do it every week, it will be even better. It will probably be a 10-minute job. But another reason for cleaning your caravan or your motorhome or your camper van regularly is that when you clean, you can inspect it. So you can check the seals, you can check if there are any leaks, any problems with the structure. So I recommend cleaning your house on wheels often. And here are the 10 tips from us for joyful life on wheels, and they really apply to caravans, motorhomes, camper vans. So whatever you choose to do, I hope they will be helpful. So please let me know what you think, whether you have your own tips, whether you have more tips for a happy daily life in a small space on wheels. Remember, if you watch it on any other day, there is no live chat, but you can still ask me a question in the comments. You can still give this video a like if you enjoyed watching it. So there are 5 of you standing. We have 10 likes. Thank you very much. And we have a mission today. We have a mission of putting the ducks away today. So we will be finishing soon to fulfill our duck keeping duties. And I'm not talking about the wild ducks. I'm talking about the running ducks we keep here in Mill Park. Today it's our turn to help out a little bit with the upkeep. So let me know quickly if you would like to see a photo of them. So Marek could take a photo of me trying to put them away, and we will post it to Camping Freedom Seekers for you. Right, ladies and gents, what are your plans for this week? What are your intentions? What are you hoping to achieve this week? I would love to film a really good video for you. But that's been a bit of a challenge, because you know what? Making those videos is almost like an artistic activity, and you really need to focus, and you really need to be in the right state of mind to produce a good video. Make sure you follow our Instagram to see our duck duties. Okay, we'll post it to Instagram then. Oh, that man wants to see the photo. He saw the ducks. Of course, that man knows the ducks. How could he be here? Oh, you are all excited about the duckies. And so were here before me. So you invaded their space, Nikki. That explains a lot. That explains a lot. Yeah, so I just need to get my shish together and plan and film some lovely video for you to enjoy. Yeah, but I see now, you know, I've made a few of those videos that I really need to focus. And that when I'm not feeling right, or something is, you know, on my mind, there is no good content coming from me. So I will try to get a bit organized. Oh, thank you for the video. I hope to achieve passing my exams and finally have a bit more time. Lovely. We are Freedom Seekers on Instagram, or KM Freedom Seekers. So that's the end of academic year for Damian. And then holidays. How lovely. How lovely. Oh, thank you, Vasi and Steve. We loved it when you did your live outside. More of them, please. Okay, we'll keep at it. Keep that in mind. It's raining today. It's raining for the first time in weeks. But definitely the campsite changed since the last live walkabout. Okay, so I wish you a really good week too. Thank you for keeping me company. Thank you for visiting us in our caravan, everyone. It's been really nice to catch up with you and to have a little chat. And have a good week, everyone. I hope everything will go to plan for you, and that next Sunday you will have some exciting news to share. We will try to be outside for you next week, as long as the weather is good. That would be lovely. Maybe, oh, the last question before I go. Would you like to see a different part of the park or around the lake and wild areas like we did last time? So thank you for watching, thank you for your lovely comments, and see you in the next video. See you next Sunday, same time, 7 p.m. UK time. Have a good week, everyone, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Join our group. There is so much to do, and there are so many ways to connect with us and other fellow freedom seekers. Have a good week, everyone. Bye bye.